Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live episode of Epic Drone Show. And I'm back in the studio today. I do have a little bit of a head cold, so if I don't sound that good, that's why. It's not my microphone, it's because I got a head cold. But there's a ton, and I mean a ton, of just super duper exciting things coming here to the channel. And among the top of that list is the DJI Spark. Now I know a lot of you have said, hey man, the Spark's not going to be for you. It's a selfie drone. It's not your cup of tea. And I agree with y'all's with your feedback stating that because, excuse me, I said I got a really bad cold. But with that being said, I think that there's a lot of value that this DJI Spark's going to bring to the playing field. Phantom Blog says hello Phantom Blogs. Maine Coon Mondays is tomorrow. That's right. At the time of watching, if you're watching this show right now at approximately 2:46 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show. You can watch and comment live. Today is Sunday. Obviously tomorrow is Monday. Not related to drones, but tomorrow is the weekly hashtag Maine Coon Mondays show. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. Something I want to share with everyone here. Let me just get a link here. Let's see. So yeah, this is obviously the Spark. This captivated a lot of us. Hopefully my Spark. Hopefully it'll be here around the 15th of this month. That's my expectation. So I'm excited to get it out in the field. Before I get it out in the field, obviously unbox it, take a look at it, update the software, see how the build quality is, share all of that with y'all as I experience the DJI Spark for the first time, because it is going to be the smallest DJI drone. It is going to be the lightest DJI drone. Everyday Man's review says, give me a shout out and I will get a DJI Spark soon. Cool, man. When you do, check that link. I just shared a link with everyone. Also, you can just go to 400orbelow.com. There's links there to the DJI Spark. Joseph says the Spark is a fancy toy drone. For better features, I'd get the new real drone. Check the specs. Yeah, actually, speaking of the new real drone, I think the DJI Mavic Pro 2. Obviously, it's imminent, that and the Phantom 5. If I had to guess, I would say they'll probably hit in August. And, I'm expecting, I have a feeling the Mavic Pro 2 may be the best thing yet. Because I think it's going to take what Mavic Pro had, and and further enhance that. If you're like me, if you had the Mavic Pro, you probably found the video quality and stability to not be as good as the DJI Phantom platform. And that's, I give DJI a pass on the first Mavic Pro because it was the first of breed. They've been continuing to build and further tweak the DJI Phantom platform. Then they came out with something radically new. But I will say, for something radically new from a design perspective, I think they executed really well with DJI Mavic Pro. And for that reason, back to the DJI Spark, I am excited about the Spark, but I don't think it's going to be, a lot of people think it's just going to be a toy, man. I don't think it's going to be just a toy. I think it's going to bridge the gap between ultra portability and semi-tool. Obviously, the Spark does not have 4K video. And for me, the absence of 4K video makes it impossible for me to consider the Spark a serious aerial video platform. But what I can get from the Spark, and again, to be tested in the field, I can get something smaller, something more lightweight, something barely noticeable at all in my backpack, among other gear. So for that reason, it'll be cool to see if it performs well enough to even create what I would refer to as supplemental content. When you're filming a video and you want to have something else in there, sure, your entire video is probably 4K Ultra HD, but you want to have a really cool shot, and it just happens to be in 1080p. How good will that 1080p footage from the Spark that's up converted to 4K, how good will that footage look? Will it be decent? Will it be totally unacceptable? How will it look? Again, to be tested. Until I get my hands on my Spark around the 15th, I'm just speculating at this point. But, I'm with y'all. I don't sit here and I'm not accusing any other channels of doing this, but I mean, there are some people that just because brand X released a new product, that the new product that brand X released is going to be the best thing in the world. When I say that, you're probably familiar with companies like Apple, that you've got your Apple fanboys, and it doesn't matter what they're releasing, that Apple fanboy is automatically going to assume that it's the best thing ever. Now, that's where I take this differently here, and always have and always will in this channel. I'm super excited about the new drone, the new DJI Spark. But even though I'm super excited, I'm going to keep it real, just like I've done with the other drones. I mean, you've watched my Mavic Pro videos. You probably saw that my reaction to the Mavic Pro was kind of semi-disappointed, because I didn't get the level of 4K video quality and stability that I got with the Phantom 3 Pro or the Phantom 4. Joseph says, I agree on not having 4K, and range is a big-time factor for me. I hope with controller it will get a bit more range. I enjoy the long-range aerial photography, extending out video footage beyond hands reach. That's a really good point, and actually on paper, and obviously something I hope to test soon, I think the range with the controller for the DJI Spark, I think it'll surpass a mile. So, that would greatly exceed visual line of sight if the operator wasn't careful. And that's one of the reasons that, a lot of people are, in my opinion, unfairly badging the DJI Spark as a toy. Something that could fly that long of a range, that's not a toy. I mean, that's something that could potentially be very dangerous if the operator wasn't careful. So to be able to use a DJI Spark and take it out and fly line of sight to be safe and responsible and capture some really good video and photo, it'll be cool to see how it performs. I'm particularly curious about the just the still photos, because obviously the 1080p video is not, because I film everything in 4K now. It's going to be a step backwards for me to use that 1080p video. But the still photos, to have something that's that small to go up and capture a really cool still photo, I could see there could be a lot of value there. AJ says the DJI Spark is popular in the world right now, especially Paris and Italy. Yeah, it seems that the worldwide perception of the Spark has been very strong, and if it's like anything else, it's new and it's different. It's easy to get excited about something like the Spark versus, say, a new DJI Phantom. Phantom is awesome. Obviously, Phantom is without a doubt my favorite drone platform on the market today. But with that said, just like an Apple iPhone, the iPhone's cool, but after you've seen 7 or so, well, actually more than that if you count the S models, but all of these different micro updates to the platform, and it's still somewhat the same phone, it kind of becomes stagnant. And that's why I really like where DJI is going with this new design. They tested the design, and again, I apologize for my head cold. I sound terrible, but they tested the design with Mavic Pro, and the market's reaction to the Mavic Pro was super strong. They stepped away from that proven formula that works, the DJI Phantom platform, and they created something radically different. And the Spark is going to be the next level of radically different. Why they didn't put a 4K camera in there, it makes one wonder, since it's called the DJI Spark and not the DJI Spark Pro. Do they have future plans to release a DJI Spark Pro if the Spark performs well? DJI is a company that they inevitably, people that manufacture products are in the business to sell their product, not only for people to like their product, but they want people to purchase their product. So if they can release an abundance of different options for the consumer, I mean, ultimately, maybe they'll sell all of them and they'll all sell really strong. I mean, there's one of the things, obviously, I would not have any visibility to, but it would be my assumption is that, something like the Inspire that's so big and so heavy, I would think the sales of that would probably just be terrible compared to, say, the DJI Phantom or the DJI Mavic Pro. But it's going to be interesting to see how the DJI Spark fits among the other drones from DJI as far as popularity is concerned. And it's one of those things only time will tell. And, I mean, today's the 4th of June, so, hopefully here, I'm just counting the days. Worst case scenario, I have worst case scenario, let's say it doesn't ship until the 15th. Hopefully I'll get it before, I don't know. When it said expected ship date of the 15th, hopefully that means I'll get it then, because I'm really anxious to get my hands on it. It says, AJ says, this is my first time being at chat, especially watching you for a long time. Cool. Welcome aboard live. Joseph says, the representative said the Spark cannot carry 4K because the lens minerals is too small. It gets a haze around the outside, like the Mavic even has, but worse. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I was not... Unfortunately, with the Mavic, when I put the 4K on there, and obviously I did the firmware updates, tried everything I could to get what I felt was acceptable video quality and stability at 4K, and I just couldn't achieve it with the Mavic Pro. So, it's going to be interesting with what you just said. I wonder if, like all this technology continues to shrink, camera technology, drone technology. Hopefully we'll see something like that in the near future, but it makes one wonder with August, if you look at the historical release calendar, typically around August something new comes out. So I bet we're going to see a Mavic Pro 2, hopefully with 4K 60 and a modular camera option, and then also a Phantom 5. Alexander says, I used to have Phantom 2 Vision Plus in 2014, then I crashed it and stopped flying drones for a while. Now I'm considering to buy a new drone. In your opinion, should I go for Phantom 4, Mavic, or wait for Spark? Well, I'll tell you, I flew the Phantom 2 Vision Plus as well. It was a great drone, and it was before you had the 4K option. So if you're wanting to branch out and really get what I would say is a sizable upgrade, coming from the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, you could go with a Phantom 3 Pro, in my opinion, and be perfectly satisfied, because you're no longer using Wi-Fi to communicate like you did with the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, or if you want to step up to a Phantom 4. But if you're in no hurry, it sounds like you've been away from drones for a while. You may just want to wait. You may want to wait and see what comes this year. My expectation is that we may see something around August. And when I say we may see something, I'm thinking possibly a Phantom 5 and or Mavic Pro 2. So, that being said, check out my 400orbelow.com website. You can find all the drones there. And if I was buying today, given... And again, it's a matter of user preference. What's your intended purpose for this drone? Is to just go out and have fun? Do you want to snap still photos? Do you want to capture video as well? And if you want to capture video, do you want to capture it in 4K Ultra HD so you can watch it on a smart TV and experience it in ultra high quality detail, or is 1080p fine? There's a lot of things that you got to take into consideration. And take into consideration the DJI Spark. And again, I haven't received mine, but when I do, you'll be able to watch all the videos and see how it stacks up. Because with the Spark, I'll use the same video editing workflow and equipment that I use for my Phantoms and my Mavic Pro. And you'll be able to see how it looks. My expectation, without having my hands on my Spark yet, is that by it only having a 2-axis gimbal instead of a 3-axis, I don't know if it's going to be able to achieve the level of video stability that the one's grown to expect from the Phantom and also the Mavic Pro platform. So, again, to be tested. Don't know until I get my hands on my Spark, but we'll see how it performs. And then also the wind. Something smaller, something more lightweight. How's it going to handle wind? I'm not talking about taking it up in a hurricane, but just taking it out in on a typical day with a mild gust of wind here and there. How's the DJI Spark going to perform? Another thing, a lot of uncertainties here. But what is certain for me is that today, if I want to tell y'all what my number one drone is, it is definitely this puppy right here. Y'all may be a little bit shocked, but it's excuse me. I mean, this thing from getting 4K video, you can also get 4K 60 with that. Now, it is pricey, but if you didn't need 4K 60, just take it a step back. Don't even go with the Phantom 4 Pro. Just go with the Phantom 4, or save even more and go with the Phantom 3 Phantom 3 Pro. Now, the disadvantage to the Phantom 3 Pro today, obviously, is that it being an older revision of the Phantom, finding the accessories, finding the batteries, all of that, those are going to become harder and harder to come by. So, if you plan on using something for a while and potentially buying more batteries and accessories, you may want to go with something a little bit newer. Joseph says, thanks for the live chat. These are nice options to typical videos. Love the channel. Gotta go. Well, Joseph, thanks for tuning in, man. Anytime you can make it, you're always welcome here. Your comments are welcome live. Everybody's comments are welcomed live rather. And I want to have more of these shows. I've had this head cold and just getting over it and just trying to get everything back together with this channel. It just feels good to be back in the studio. You can see there's Sean Coonery over there. Let me go get him. He wants to talk to y'all. This is Epic Drone Show. This is not your show. But But yeah, that's Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. He said, be sure on Monday to tune in for a new live episode of #Maine Coon Mondays. A lot of people think these cats are illegal. They're not. He's just a Maine Coon. Happens to be the largest domesticated cat in the world. So there he goes. Question regarding Phantom 4 Pro. Is it worth for the built-in screen in your opinion? Well, that's something. I did not go for the one with the screen, but these are my personal thoughts. Anytime, let's say for example, you go out and you buy a truck, and then you get the built-in GPS. It's just built in from whatever truck manufacturer. It's nice having it built in, but typically any sort of built-in option, if it fails, it's not as simple as just unplugging and plugging back in your own device. So it's for that reason I like the Phantom 4 Pro without. And when I say Phantom 4 Pro, not the Phantom 4 Pro Plus that has the integrated screen, but the Phantom 4 Pro without the integrated screen, because what that lets me do is, I bring my own device. If I want to use my iPad mini, or if I want to use my iPod Touch, or if I want to use my iPhone, I can switch those out. So I don't, sure, if in a perfect world, if everything continued to function well with the DJI screen, and I have no doubt about DJI's ability to bring to the market cutting-edge hardware, whether it's cameras, drones, now the tablet devices. I have no doubt about their abilities, but I personally like the flexibility of bringing my own device. So I don't know. I mean, I would. I'm not in any way saying the Phantom 4 Pro Plus is not good, but look at that. Look at the price difference too. That's something to take into consideration. AJ says, excuse me. Are you using 4K video right now or 1080? This is just 1080p. Right now, I'm not configured for 4K Ultra HD streaming. I don't have the bandwidth in my studio. But hopefully, as everything else evolves technologically, hopefully that'll be an option that I'll have for these live shows in the future. 4K. B Hendo says, "Hey B Hendo, welcome aboard." Again, welcome aboard, everyone. I see we've got a ton of people watching live. If you're watching this at approximately 3:06 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show, meaning that if you type comments or questions in the little YouTube chat, I have the opportunity to read and respond live face on video. And after this show concludes, you'll be able to find it and other previously recorded videos on epicdroneshow.com. That's the home of Epic Drone Show. So yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. It's been, as I had mentioned during previous shows, and a lot of y'all had mentioned, it's just been a stagnant few months. I mean, DJI, remember last year, piece of Sean Connery's fur. Last year, the GoPro Karma was the one that a lot of people, including myself, were excited about. And it came to market, and at least in my opinion, it was a flop. And I hate that because I love GoPro. But then Mavic Pro came out, radically new design. But then after Mavic Pro came out, sure, we got the Phantom 4 Pro, but what really new and exciting have we seen from drones? I don't know if y'all have seen anything, but I haven't. And that's why I think, despite the disappointment of not having 4K video, I'm still excited to just get my hands on this Spark and get it out in the field and see what it does. So that's my thrill, as a hobbyist, is just taking this stuff out, seeing how it performs, seeing how it fails. If it fails, how do you fix it? Just having a good time with it. That's what a hobby's all about. And, yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's no doubt about that. So it's it's that time of year. We're going to start seeing some really good drone stuff. There's Sean Connery walking back over here to the master set. What are your thoughts on authentic DJI filters or other companies? Well, really, when it comes to the brand of whether it's for cameras or drones or whatever, if you're looking at filters, neutral density filters, UV filters, etc., it's really a matter of what the materials, what the glass is made out of, and not all of them are even glass. So for that reason, I know with my primary camera that I use on the ground, my Sony Alpha, I'm very picky about the filters I use on it, and I use this really high quality German brand of filter. But when it comes to drones, I've had good luck. Let me see here. I mean, I've linked a lot of them on 400orbelow.com. And to be frank, I use neutral density filters very heavily with my Phantom 3. But then with my Phantom 4 and my Phantom 4 Pro, I got to the point to where I just use the integrated, I guess it's a UV filter that comes with it. So I didn't even bother with a neutral density or a polarizer CPL filter. But it's really just a matter of, do you want to change the look of the video and or photo in real time by using a filter? Or do you just want to manipulate all of that within post-production? So I've gone the route that I've started doing it in post-production. Just a matter of personal preference there. I don't know if it really Really makes a big difference. Hey, Sean Coonery, you come back on the set. He said he wants to come back. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so we've got AJ says, well, with the Spark, the gimbal is really small and lightweight. 2-axis gimbal is going to be okay, but if the camera has weight to it, then yes, you do need 3-axis gimbal. So that's, yeah, the Spark, again, another, AJ mentioning the 2-axis gimbal as well. That's one of those uncertainties. That it's again, it's easy to look at the specs on paper of the DJI Spark, but without actually having it in the field. I know there's videos on YouTube now, but if you do your due diligence and look at those videos that are on YouTube now, the bulk of those that you see of the Spark, they're pre-release versions of the DJI Spark. So it's, none of those should be considered an accurate representation of how well or how poorly the production model of the DJI Spark performs. And I will have sorry. And I'll obviously be reviewing the production model of the DJI Spark. So it's none of the pre-release stuff that may or may not perform like the real deal. So yeah, Kevin made a good point. Less flight time on the Spark. Yeah, the flight time on the Spark is going to be somewhat limited. The Phantom 4 Pro is the best out there. Yep. As far as flight time, yeah. Well, I got to get. I want to do this live show, but getting over this cold is putting a dent in my live show game. So, great question. Have y'all tried the DJI goggles? Good stuff. Ugh. Ah. Piece of cat fur. Sean Coonery, you got fur over here. Yeah, so interesting times for real, for drones. We're about a half hour in here. I just wanted to briefly sync up with everybody and build some buzz, because the Spark, I'm hoping to have it on or around the 15th of this month. If you're looking for the goggles, let's see. Let's see here. Here's a link to the DJI goggles that everybody's talking about. Biggest question I have with the DJI goggles, I know at an international level, it's, well, I don't know if I'm going to get the goggles, and the reason I say that is that in a lot of countries, it's, and again, it varies among countries, but if you're the operator of the drone, commonly referred to as a remote pilot and command, one of the requirements for that remote pilot and command in most countries is to maintain visual line of sight with the drone. And that doesn't mean that someone can use binoculars or telescope, they've got to use their naked eyes and maintain visual line of sight with that drone. For that reason, if goggles are being worn, unless they would allow the operator to concurrently maintain visual line of sight with the drone and fly FPV, first-person view, with the goggles, in most countries, that would seem to me that it would likely go against the rules that are in place that govern drone use. So for that reason, I don't want to. I don't want to put myself in a sticky spot. Sure, I could have someone else fly the drone, and I could sit there and watch what's going on through the goggles without being the remote pilot in command, that's maintaining constant visual line of sight with the drone. But how fun is that? I mean, if you're not flying it and you're not, experiencing the true FPV. Yeah, Alexander said that's perfect. Yeah, man, no doubt. Yeah, that would be a very cool application for the goggles, because you'd be able to be the remote pilot in command, fly your drone, and they'd be able to watch and have a good time. AJ had a good point. He made a good point. He said, I'd rather just have different monitor like iPad or iPhones is better, because you can do editing on the phones and iPads on different things. George says, I heard you don't have to register your drones anymore. Is that true? Well, I know, and again, it varies among countries, but I know there were some posts in the United States about drone registration, because in the past, whether someone was using a drone for recreational purposes or commercial purposes, they still had to, regardless of whether they were using it for recreational or commercial purposes, they still had to register. And I don't know if that registration requirement is still in place, but AJ says, 1080p dude, you look 21. Yep. I wish I was 21. But I'm old, so, yep, I got old. But there is a secret, and I use this stuff. I exfoliate daily, so I keep my skin looking younger. But that's a little secret. And if y'all want a link to the stuff I use, I can send y'all a link to it. Actually, let me just get that. Let's see. Yeah, here's a speaking of keeping your skin looking young, that's a secret that I use. Exfoliating. So there you have it. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Well, it is exciting. It's going to become super exciting as soon as this Spark arrives, because that's going to open the floodgates and bring in some new stuff. But yep, I gotta cut this one kind of short because I don't want to lose my voice. I'm almost over this cold, but it's just been driving me bonkers. I hate to not be productive, and it's driving me crazy when I'm not. So. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your feedback. Stay tuned for another live show very soon. Again, you can find this and all previously recorded Epic Drone shows on epicdroneshow.com. And let's see. Would you be able to use Magic Remote on Spark? I don't know. Not sure about that. What I use with the Mavic, I use this with the Mavic. Let me get you a link. Be just a second here. I'll get it here in just a second. Okay, so I used this. iPod Touch model that I have listed there. I just shared a link. So yeah, that's all for this show. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for another live show soon. Hopefully I get over this cold and I can host another live show very soon. But I'm going to cut this one kind of short just because I don't want to. Oh, can you use the Mavic remote with the Spark? Again, that's something that has to be tested. Because if you look at the Mavic Pro remote, it looks similar to the Spark, except it has a screen on the remote. The Mavic Pro does. The Spark remote has no screen. So, will the Mavic Pro remote work with the Spark? It would seem that if it did, that it would prevent DJI from selling more stuff. Because if somebody already owned a Spark, if somebody already owned the Mavic Pro and they had the Mavic Pro controller, then they really wouldn't have a big incentive to spend more and get the DJI Spark bundle that includes the DJI Spark controller. Will it work? Don't know. To be tested. I'm going to have to cut this short because I do have this head cold. So I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so. YouTube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.